Disclaimer. The host of this podcast is a person with lived experience of disability and a speech impairment. For a copy of the episode transcript, please refer to the show notes.
Hello, lovebirds, and welcome to Love and Other Disabilities, the podcast that disabled folks and their loved ones. I'm your host, Claudia Forsberg, Ballarat-based journalist and hopeless for Americans. Now, to recap the first two episodes so far, we have dedicated them to two types of heartbreak: friendship and romantic. In hindsight, this may seem unintentionally pessimistic of me, but I promise you there are some positive messages hidden in there. So before you continue, if you haven't already, go back and listen to those. This week, I'm going to be switching gears a little bit. The topic I wanted to discuss is perhaps a concept that not many of you will be familiar with. I'm talking, of course, about the social model of disability. Now, the reason I think this is so important and relevant in the context of love and relationships is this will serve as a useful frame of reference for disability and the definitions of disability we understand today. And by understanding these definitions, we can better support and love our loved ones with disability. To understand the social model, let me first introduce you to the medical model of disability. This is perhaps the model that we are most familiar with without even realizing it. I'm going to read out the definition as published on the website for People with Disabilities Australia. It says, and I quote, "According to the medical model, disability is a health condition dealt with by medical professionals. People with disabilities are thought to be different to what is normal, or abnormal. Disability is seen as a problem of the individual. From the medical model, a person with disability is in need of being fixed or cured. From this point of view, disability is a tragedy, and people with disability are to be pitied. The medical model of disability is all about what a person cannot do and cannot be." So, as you can see by this definition, disability is a rather negative quality that some people possess, and is therefore in need of getting rid of or fixing. This definition of disability is also rather outdated by today's standards, and I think the thing that most bothers me about this definition is the fact that it sees disability as a problem of the individual. In other words, it's my fault for being born disabled, and any barriers I encounter in life are things that I need to deal with on my own. Now, you can see how this definition makes disability a very isolating experience. It doesn't seek to normalise disability at all. In fact, it sees disability as a bad thing. So here's where we turn to the social model of disability. The social model of disability, as you might have guessed, seeks to counteract the medical model. Referring back to the PWDA, it says, and I quote, "The social model sees disability as a result of the interaction between people living with impairments and an environment filled with physical, attitudinal, communication and social barriers. It therefore carries the implication that the physical, attitudinal, communication and social environment must change to enable people living with impairments to participate in society on an equal basis with others. A social model perspective does not deny the reality of impairment, nor its impact on the individual. However, it does challenge the physical, attitudinal, communication and social environment to accommodate impairment as an expected incident of human diversity. In other words, we are disabled by our environment and social attitudes, which create barriers to people with certain physical, social, and communication impairments who live in their lives on an equal basis with others. We can also see here that because of this, the responsibility is on the whole of society. Regardless of whether you know or not someone with a disability, it makes changes to our environment, social attitudes, and communication strategies in order to accommodate for some people with impairment. So now that we've defined the social model with disability, what does this look like in practice? Let's start with the easiest, most obvious thing, environmental barriers. And I'll use myself as an example. As most of you will know by now, I am in a wheelchair because I cannot walk. I have been in a wheelchair for most of my life, and this will stay that way until the end of it. A magic 2 hour uphill that will suddenly give me the ability to walk up a flight of stairs, for example, is out of the question. So what happens when I am met with an establishment, say a restaurant, that has a step or stairs to get inside? Well, it is the responsibility of the establishment owner or owners to make sure there is at the very least an alternative way to access the building, such as a ramp or elevator access. It is not possible for me to simply not have the impairment of not being able to walk. But if you remove the barrier of steps, then I am not disabled by them, am I? I can eat a nice meal with my friends at the restaurant, playing with everybody else. I'll give you another example. A lot of people with disabilities, myself included, have to deal with negative attitudes of disability on a daily basis. These attitudes include being seen as objects of pity or ridicule, being seen as less intelligent or less worthy of respect. These attitudes create all sorts of barriers, such as the opportunities for employment, access to educational or medical institutions, and of course in dating or making friends. If we as a society were to collectively challenge these negative views and stereotypes and actually sit them on their head, I guarantee a lot of people with disabilities will see all kinds of barriers fall away. Of course, I don't expect this kind of change to happen overnight, but I already have seen us make so much progress in my own short lifetime. I'm positive we can continue to see more change if we simply work together and keep educating each other. Side note, a great way to start now is by sharing this podcast episode with everyone you know. Don't worry listeners, I haven't forgotten that this is still a podcast about love and relationships. What you're probably wondering is how this all fits in. How can we use a social model of disability as a tool when interacting with our disabled loved ones? Step 1, of course, you are already doing, which is to educate yourself and others. Understand that disability affects 1 in 4 Australians, which means even if you're not aware of it, you likely know someone who is disabled, or is related to someone who is disabled. Not only should we care because disability affects so many of us, but we need to see it as a normal aspect of human existence, as normal as having brown skin or green eyes. I want to stress that there is no need to ascribe negative or even positive connotations to disability. We do not need to feel sorry for disabled people, nor see them as some kind of superhuman. Disability is not a bad word, so using euphemisms such as special needs or differently able are also unnecessary. We really want to treat it as the neutral and accurate descriptor that it is. The next step is to allow space for discussions with your disabled loved ones. Now importantly, don't finish this episode and immediately approach your disabled loved one and demand to discuss your thoughts. Context is key. Remember, we live with these issues every day. We can't always compartmentalize these discussions. If we are having a particularly off or low energy day, the last thing we need is to have a deep philosophical discussion about what it means to be disabled. Take into consideration your loved one's state of mind and definitely do not accost a random stranger on the street. It is not always the job of disabled people to educate you. What I mean when I say create space for these discussions is to listen out for when your disabled loved ones bring up these issues in the moment. Maybe they complain because you are to the right in a restaurant that had no wheelchair access. Be prepared to acknowledge and empathize with this barrier, discuss how it also makes you feel, and let that person know that it's not an issue about them, but an issue with a society that was not built for them. Another thing you can do for your disabled loved ones to avoid situations in which you encounter barriers is to plan ahead. Let's say you want to take your disabled girlfriend out on a date. As disabled people, we are very used to being proactive about going out, so it's out of habit that we check for things like access ahead of time. And if you want it to lighten the load, sometimes it's a simple matter of looking at the venue you're attending online to see if they have wheelchair access, if data contact required, or making a quick phone call ahead of time. Additionally, check if the partner has other needs, maybe they have sensory sensitivities. So you can ask the venue what time of day is required for business and book the date for this time. This of course goes for friend dates and family outings. Remember, it's the little thoughts and efforts that plan ahead that do go a long way to make life easier for your disabled loved ones, and let them know that they do not have to do everything alone. I really hope you found this episode helpful. Keep an eye out for the upcoming first book club episode of this podcast coming this weekend. Join in next week when I answer the all-important question, what is love? If you like this episode, please subscribe for future episodes, comment reviews or send me a message and share it with your loved ones. It would really mean the world. Until next time, remember you are loved and you deserve to be loved. Stay well.